I find it impossible to explain what I do for a living to my family. They, like most people, only understand the music industry from what they've seen in movies or through paper-thin conversations with local bands who, quote-unquote, know how it works. This in itself is a problem because it perpetuates myths that just aren't true. These are my 5 biggest myths about the music industry debunked, as told to AP by Shan Dan Horan. But before we get to debunking the biz, be sure to subscribe to AP TV so you never miss a video. 5 biggest myths about the music industry debunked. Number 1, it pays well. At one point in time, the music industry was flushed with cash. We're talking buying trained tigers for your mansion flushed. Nowadays, however, the revenue an artist makes is so dismally sad it's almost embarrassing to talk about. You're earning a paltry rate of about 0.00437 cents per stream on Spotify. That means an artist needs 1,500 people to listen to a song to bank the equivalent of one album sale. 1,500 people. That's basically a musician selling out their biggest local venue and getting paid $9.99 total for their trouble. In the real world, any artist I've seen sell out a 1,500 capacity venue walks away with tens of thousands of dollars. So how is that fair? Well, it's not, especially for producers, engineers, music video directors, photographers, publicists, managers, and the struggling musicians who don't get paid very well. Number 2, it's hard to get into. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, how do I get a job in the music industry? Most people think there's an arbitrary screening process with a fancy degree requirement to start your career. The truth of the matter is that I've been asked a whopping 0 times for my degree. It's actually sitting under a coating of dust in a $4 IKEA frame under an office cabinet. Most people who want a job in the music industry just aren't doing anything to make it a reality. Sitting around waiting for someone to give you a career is never going to happen. The majority of the people I work with got started doing what they loved, and it became a job. I started by managing my friend's band. Number 3, sex, drugs, and alcohol. Anytime I'm in a serious relationship, I get hit with a, "Oh, you're backstage" text, followed by a jealous silence or lack in text responses completely. It's something most people don't understand. Like the movies, they think women are throwing themselves at me while shots of tequila are being poured down my throat. In actuality, it's a room with a bunch of unshowered dudes trying to borrow each other's cell phone chargers. A large amount of tours are even what we call dry tours, meaning a member is struggling with substance abuse, so no one is allowed to drink alcohol. Number 4, rock stars. One thing that gets on my nerves are rock stars. You know what I'm talking about. A musician with such an inflated ego that they think they can get away with treating others, including fans, like absolute garbage. I've seen rock stars deck women in the face, try to creep on underage girls, or even kick out fans for wearing a band that they don't like on a t-shirt. Who the fuck do you think you are? Without fans, you wouldn't even be in the position you're in. Thankfully, most rock stars have a way of self-sabotaging themselves to the point of burning every bridge they've ever had, or ending up in prison. The truth is, rock stars don't exist anymore, for the most part. Most of the famous musicians I work with are humble, nice to their fans and team, and treat their band like a professional business. Number 5, record label employees are monsters. The stigma around record labels is an oddity, as people who have never been signed to a record label love to say F record labels because they're jaded that they didn't get signed, or it's coming from artists who signed a really terrible contract without looking at it. Like any business, there are good labels and bad labels. Politics and contracts aside, most labels consist of extremely hardworking, passionate music fans. Most get paid half of what they deserve and get asked to do quadruple what they should. Shan Dan Horan is a record label insider best known for his work as president of SBG, Artery Recordings, and Outerloop Records. He also continues to work for labels such as Century Media, Republic, Universal, Sony, and many more.